All right, good morning, everybody, and welcome back to the Hat and Beard Show. Today is March 7th. That's right, Wednesday, middle of the week for most of you, or the end of the week here for the Hat and Beard Show. As you guys know, we go Monday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can catch us right here live every single day. Today we have a best show that we can compile for you guys. Not only is it the end of the week, and boy, am I limping across the old finish line here, but, it is the slog of the off season. Rookie mini camps are starting to get underway, and a little bit of activity popped off for us late last night, early in the wee hours of the morning. That's right, the Pittsburgh Steelers are reportedly trading wide receiver, second-round pick from a couple years ago, George Big Play Pickens, to the Dallas Cowboys. The Cowboys who just weren't really splashy, didn't have the cap room to make splashes in the offseason this year the way they Cowboys fans may have wanted, knowing how their organization finished last year, knowing that they needed to add more weapons for Dak Prescott to be successful as he slowly continues to get older and older, and the window for Dak Prescott to be a Super Bowl contending quarterback in Big D, well, little D if you ask me now, Detroit's Big D, but in Dallas is closing ever quickly, so they needed to add another weapon outside of CeeDee Lamb, and they decided to pull the trigger and make a little dealy poo with the Pittsburgh Steelers. We'll discuss that as well as some things that I'd like to point out about Steelers wide receivers. You see the poll there. Will George Pickens be the next Antonio Brown? So go ahead and answer the poll there. Something in the water with Pittsburgh and their wide receivers. Are those guys just, some of them go the route of Hines Ward. Some of them go the route of Antonio Brown. They lose their marbles, so we'll talk about that. Then we're going to roll on over to SI.com. Christian Boer, a couple minutes ago earlier this morning, wrote us a nice little Lions 2025 minicamp storylines. What to watch for the Lions 2025 rookie minicamp that kicks off this weekend. So some things that we can look to watch for, some things we've already discussed. There should be no real big surprises coming out of this article, but it's some things that we will look at now and then discuss once minicamp wraps up for the rookies. And then finally, we're going to be rolling over to Yahoo Sports. What did the pre-draft scouting process reports say about Lions edge Ahmad Hassanin? Again, shout out Mr. DeWitt. I believe it's Brent DeWitt for clearing up how to pronounce that name, educating me on my 6th grade reading level. So we will be doing all that. And then as well as, if we can keep it kind of crisp and kind of short today, I'll let you guys know kind of why I'm dragging so much butt this week. Things have been a little up and down as far as the old workplace is concerned. And maybe we'll talk about a little bit of that. But before we do, if you guys wouldn't mind, that's right, we're going to do the old Ramble Rooski. If you wouldn't mind, I know you're probably asking yourself, Hat, how can I be a part of the Hat and Beard Show? Man, I love the content that you create. You are by far the largest, fastest growing Detroit Lions and NFL related content in the 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. block, broadcasting exclusively from Grandma's Studio Win. I know we're the fastest and growing, and that's because of guys like you, guys like Brent DeWitt, my guy. Just gave you a shout out, my brother. Morning to you, dude. Clearing up, my guy over here bringing in Ahmed Hassanin, clearing up how to pronounce that, making me not look so stupid. So big shout out to you, brother. Going to go ahead and hit you a couple of 100s and hearts in the chat. Hope you're having a good morning, my dude. I was actually thinking about you earlier with that last name DeWitt. Are you from the Michigan area? I only ask that because I have some cousins, some distant relatives in the DeWitt family from the mid-Michigan area. So it's just something that popped into my head yesterday when I was thinking about how appreciative I was that you helped me clear up that Ahmed Hassanin, because, man, I was struggle bussing to pronounce that dude's last name. So back to the task at hand here. I know you're like, hey, how can I be guys like Brent DeWitt, like Jeanette Hall, like I'm Chasing Chase, Mr. Detroit City, Cody Till, Beantown Breakdown, Frank the Tank. Oh, golly, there was a couple guys yesterday. oh man, I can't remember the new guy that popped in yesterday, but our Bills fan. We got people coming in from all over the U.S., dude. It's not just a Detroit Lions specific thing. Yeah, being part of the pride helps, but we love hearing from all of you guys across all 32 NFL teams. And maybe even football's not your thing, and you just want to hang out and enjoy it. Yuck it up with the guys down in the chat. I say it all the time. The chat, you guys are what keeps this show. You guys are what makes this show. I just read. I'm just reading with my 5th grade, 6th grade reading level here. So, if you want to be a part of that, come hang out with us every Monday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Go ahead and barrel roll on over to the bathtub underneath the video, and then just go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. And if you really want to be part of the team here, go ahead and ring that notification bell so that you never miss out on any future content. You can get a push notification sent directly to your phone every Monday through Wednesday that we go live. We will be expanding to Monday through Friday once the regular season gets underway. And you can just click that, come and join the fun every morning. We're happy to have you. Give us a hey, good morning. Let us know what's going on so that we can incorporate you in the chat here. You can be part of the team here. Like the video, obviously, if the content that we provide here is of any value to you. And then the best thing you can really do for the algorithm to appease the almighty digital lords above us, if you wouldn't mind just clicking that share button. Look, I know. I get it. I wouldn't want to be affiliated with myself. Okay, so without destroying your well-groomed and cultivated online presence through your various social medias, look, you don't have to let anybody know that you're a fan of the Hat and Beard Show. Totally don't have to do that. But what you can do is just copy that link down onto your clipboard and go ahead and do that a couple, 2, 3 times. It really lets the algorithm know to push this content out here. It tells it that it's being shared regardless of where you post it or if you even do post it. It's the best way to help us grow the channel here. We have been on just an absolute freight train. I don't know what we're doing, but for whatever reason, ever since our pre-draft show a couple weeks back, you guys have just been on it. Just a bunch of OG MVPs here in the Hat and Beard Show, a bunch of beards and boobs showing up, and I absolutely love that about you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. Let's get into the article here.
It'd be a lot cooler if you did.
All right, dude, I gotta read this chat. Brent DeWitt, Pickens to the Cowgirls seems like a good fit. He can add another act to Jerry's circus. Bro, like, for real? That's what I thought this morning. I was having my morning constitutional, and I was reading a couple articles on this, trying to get, a little prep for this, trying to figure out what news we're going to read. And I was like, really? I mean, okay, so those of you who weren't here during the pre-draft process, there was a lot of smoke coming out of the major media market, or the major media outlets talking about the Lions potentially trading J-Mo, right? And I got all hell-bent on the idea of J-Mo being traded to the Dallas Cowboys. Damn near for exactly what Brent DeWitt said in the chat here. Because Jerry Jones loves the circus. It's like when you think of like circus dysfunctional organizations that love the drama, the top 2 that come to mind for me are the Dallas Cowboys and the Las Vegas Raiders. You know what I'm saying? Those organizations love chaos. It's like they really need to read Jordan Peterson's book, 12 Rules to Chaos. They need to start standing like a lobster and make their fucking bed and clean their room. You know what I'm saying? But George Pickens, another Pittsburgh basket case. The dude's a basket case. I don't know what's in the water in Pittsburgh, but for whatever reason, they get these wide receivers who have just top 1% athletic prowess, right? Just these elite guys, Antonio Brown, George Pickens. You could even argue it goes back as early as Plaxico Burress, right? Now, yes, he was a member of the Giants organization when he decided to illegally carry a firearm into a nightclub and then give himself another orifice in his body, right? But I don't know, man, because for every Antonio Brown, there's a Hines Ward, right? Was Santonio Holmes bananas by the end of his career? I don't really remember any articles coming out about Santonio Holmes losing his marbles. You know what I'm saying? Chase Claypool, another basket case, another dude who literally had everything laid out before him. He could have, if Chase Claypool could have just removed his head from his own asshole, he could have had a Megatron light type career. But for whatever reason, maybe maybe Mike Tomlin is going in the locker room or going directly to the wide receivers room and just caning all these dudes directly on their dome and causing just brain injuries all the time that results in them losing their marbles. Or unlike the Detroit Lions, the Pittsburgh Steelers are more than willing to take on these basket cases because they think that the athletic pedigree of the players outweighs the off-the-field character issues, the circus that comes with it, up to a point. Antonio Brown ended up being dealt to the Oakland, I think at the time, Oakland Raiders. And now you see George Pickens, who end of season last year was screaming with Mike Tomlin on the sidelines, just doing that diva shit that, especially here, those of us that are fans of the Motor City, I mean, we don't have a tolerance for that type of nonsense, right? So you're seeing this insubordination out of George Pickens, this me diva wide receiver nonsense, and the Steelers, look, they're gonna wash their hands of it. They just said, you know what, we're gonna go ahead and bring in DK Metcalf, and then we're going to look to deal George Pickens. I assume they probably were shopping him pretty hot and heavy during the draft process, but the deal that they were able to secure for George Pickens, you know, I think it's mutually beneficial for both organizations on the surface. Just reading it, the Steelers wash their hands of a headache circus nonsense player that just isn't a good fit anymore. You know, there comes a point in time that you might have been a good fit, you might have been a great fit, you know, early on, but now teams grow, people grow, individuals change. You get your head bonked a couple of times, and now George Pickens getting shipped off to Jerryville to go and do his little song and dance down there with the rest of the old Jerryville circus. And I mean, good for ESPN. Okay, first and foremost, let's be honest. The big winner of this trade is your ESPNs and your NFL networks. Why? Well, because they have something to talk about for the next 3-4 days. And then, oh boy, howdy, do they have a hot storyline to follow all through minicamp and all through training camp, or all through training camp and all through OTAs. I mean, this is going to be something they'll pay more attention to this. So a nice little ratings boop for ESPN, NFL Network, and the talking heads on the rest of the 3 and 4 letter networks. And yeah, we'll probably talk about it periodically. But you know what? Right now, this is the top story that we got because our boots are muddy and we're mining stories for you guys. So down here at yahoosports.com, Steelers reportedly trading wide receiver George Pickens to the Cowboys. This came out at about 9 a.m., so a little over an hour ago. Pittsburgh Steelers have an agreement in place to trade wide receiver George Pickens to the Dallas Cowladies in exchange for multiple draft picks. NFL insider Ian Rappaport reported early Wednesday morning. Steelers are expected to receive a future 3rd-round pick and 5th-round pick from Dallas in the deal. Pittsburgh will send 6th-round pick to the Cowboys along with Pickens. And that's, I mean, George Pickens was a 2nd-round pick. You're getting a 3rd and a 5th. Look, in the Brad Holmes world that we live in, holy shit, that's a fucking gold mine right there. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Pittsburgh won the draft, won this trade just on the surface, right out of the rip. Again, not a fan of the Cowboys, not a fan of George Pickens. So this is just a marriage made in hell. You know what I'm saying? The details are Steelers receive a 3rd and a 5th, 26th 3rd and a 27th 5th. Okay, so not 2 picks in the same draft. And then the Cowboys are going to grab George Pickens and then get a 27th 6th-round pick. So we won't know ultimately who absolutely won this draft until roughly the 2029 season after these picks are able to finalize. Pickens, 24, is entering the final year of his rookie contract, having functioned as the wide receiver 1 in Pittsburgh following the trade of Deontay Johnson to the Carolina Panthers last offseason. And what a disaster of a trade that was for the Panthers. He tallied 900 receiving yards and 3 touchdowns on 103 targets over 14 games in 2024. Struggling as he has through most of his young career with inconsistent quarterback play. And that is, I could sit here and say, he's the number 1 who didn't produce as well as our number 2, Jameson Williams, who finally had a breakout season going over 1,000 yards receiving with a whopping 1,001 yards. George Pickens wasn't able to surpass that 1,000-yard mark, but he did have a shithouse load of targets, 103 targets. He was the wide receiver 1, but Pittsburgh did have and there's still question marks around that quarterback room. Obviously, Pittsburgh's looking like it's going to be old whistle britches Aaron do Rodgers himself. But DK Metcalf does make both players infinitely better. Over in the chat, Brent DeWitt, Pickens adds an explosive element to their offense if they can figure out which plays he's going to take off. Yeah, that's the thing with George Pickens. He's a diva. And not a good downfield blocker. If he knows the ball's not coming his way, he's going to half-ass it. He's going to walk through it. He's going to lollygag and fiddle fart ass around. And with what I would perceive as the changing of the tides culturally in the NFL, diva play is being highly scrutinized with the development and evolution of what I've called the player coach, this team mentality, the Dan Campbells, Mike Vrabels, D'Amico Ryans. You're not seeing any one. It is all. We're all for one and one for all. And I just, George Pickens maybe, would have excelled during the diva, the Terrell Owens age of the NFL wide receiver room, really flashy, the last vestige of the divas. But does George Pickens even justify this diva behavior? As a number one, getting only 900 yards outside of bad quarterback play, no. I don't think George Pickens can justify this diva behavior. Again, maybe George Pickens follows that narrative that I constructed about Jameson Williams, if Jameson Williams had gone to Dallas, in that this will be the end of George Pickens. We'll see George Pickens, slowly fizzle out, because regardless of how athletic you are, how good of a wide receiver you can be, some guys just can't get out of their own way. Look at Josh Gordon. Look at Justin Blackmon. I don't know if any of you guys have been following the Justin Blackmon saga, but talk about just fucking just shitboxing your way out of everything. I mean, the dude's not even in football. And most recently, Justin Blackmon, who I think was like a number 5 overall pick by the Jags, in like 17. He recently was arrested again, and he has gotten so big that they had to give him, and I don't mean like yoked. He's put on so much weight because he struggles with alcohol. Justin Blackmon is so big that they had to use 2 sets of handcuffs to clip his hands around his back, and he couldn't fit in the back of the squad car. They had to get a bigger vehicle to put him in the back of when they detained him. Hey, good morning, Chase. I'm glad the diva era is about over. Good morning, dude. Yeah, dude, I am over the diva thing. I've never really enjoyed it. And good morning to you, bro. I'm happy to see you here. Glad you're able to make it, and hopefully you're not diverting away too much work, bro. And hey, guys, those of you that are new here, we got to give a big one of our goals this offseason is we all as a community are trying to support our guy Chase here, getting off the Red Bulls. He's doing really, really well. So just give a shout out to Chase in the chat. He is kicking Red Bull's ass, dude, for real. So big props to him. Pickens posted his best campaign to date in 2023 when he totaled 1,140 receiving yards, 5 touchdowns on 106 targets, leading the NFL average with 18.1 yards per catch. Over his 3 seasons, Pickens has caught passes from Kenny Pickett, Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, Mitchell Trubisky, and Mason Rudolph, as Pittsburgh has struggled to find an answer at quarterback following the Ben Roethlisberger retirement of 2021 season. The Steelers have 3 quarterbacks on the roster coming out of the draft, including Rudolph, career backup Skylar Thompson, and rookie Will Howard, who was selected in the 6th round of this year's draft. The Steelers have been hoping to sign a 41-year-old veteran Aaron do Rodgers, who visited the facility and met with head coach Mike Tomlin back in March, though no contract has been signed to date. Now Pickens puts those question marks behind him and is set to play with 3-time Pro Bowler in 2022 Walter Payton Man of the Year Award winner Dak Prescott. Prescott is coming off a season-ending hamstring injury, but threw for 4,500 yards and 36 touchdowns with 9 interceptions in his last full season played. Prescott shared a positive update in April about his recovery, stating, "If I had to play again today, I definitely could do that." There's an interesting thing about Dak Prescott. One of my very, very good friends from back in the day, Demo, he is a giant Cowboys fan. The dude, two teams that guy loves, the Notre Dame Fighting Irish and the Dallas Cowboys, right? And years ago, me and him have had this ongoing argument, and I think the argument still can go on today, although I think now he is winning the argument. We used to argue, if you were to build a team This was right after Kirk Cousins signed in Minnesota. Okay. If you were to build a team and your two choices at quarterback to build your team around were Dak Prescott or Kirk Cousins, who would you take? And Demo, Dak. He just go Dak because Dak's his guy. Dakota Rain Prescott is his cat, dude. And I of course was like, Dak Prescott sucks. He's a piece of shit. Fuck Dak Prescott because I don't like the Cowboys. I mean, props to Prescott for winning Walter Payton Man of the Year award winner. So I mean, can't entirely fuck Dak Prescott, but you're not a Cowboys fan. And I of course was in the camp of Kirk Cousins, and ultimately both of us would have been proven correct that we would have an illustrious career of above average quarterback play for our team. Down in the chat, I'm glad that you just water today so far. I usually would do that at least one pop to give me something, but today, so hey, you know what, dude? Look, man, eventually you'll get to the point where that one pop is unacceptable, right? Because I always jokingly say when it comes to kind of cheating on my diet or whatever, you know, if I'm going to step out and have like, okay, for example, last night I was down talking with one of the event coordinators about this broad that hit a fucking pole in the parking lot, and they had a couple of the dual the little 2 shots of Starburst, and I had one of them, and I was like, ooh, my teeth started vibrating in my mouth. That sugar tasted so good. And Joy was like, I thought you were off sugar. I was like, yeah, but a little bit of heroin once in a while isn't going to hurt. Yeah, just a little bit of heroin isn't going to hurt. The trade has been in the works dating back to the 2025 NFL Draft. Diana Rossini of The Athletic reports, quote, talks stalled, but Dallas came back with an improved effort that eventually lands Pickens from Pittsburgh, she shared on X. The Steelers acquire star wide receiver DK Metcalf in a trade with the Seattle Seahawks earlier this offseason and inked him to a $150 million deal, which sparked some conjecture that Pickens could be on the move. Because George Pickens and DK Metcalf are similar in what they do. They both play bigger body style wide receiver, contested catch guys, big long bodies. And although it would be nice to have 2 guys that can do that really, really well, if you can bring in a guy like DK Metcalf and unload yourself of the basket case of George Pickens, I mean, yeah, you pretty much won that. My 2 most hated teams, the Bears and God, hang on one second. I'm sorry, bud. I'm sorry, DeWitt, Mr. DeWitt. The Bears and the Cowgirls. That's fair, dude. That's fair. I've never liked Dallas. And what I think that has to deal with is, I don't know, man. So I'm 37. I'm like as millennial can get. And the thing with the Dallas Cowboys is they're like the quintessential bandwagon team. You know what I'm saying? When the Cowboys are even mediocre, because the media machine that's behind them, everybody becomes a Dallas Cowboys fan. Everybody knows who the Dallas Cowboys are. And the thing that I got about that is the same reason that I don't like Swifties, supporting the game. I fucking hate posers, dude. Like, is that so wrong? I fucking hate posers. And I feel like the majority of Cowboys fans are fucking posers, dude. I can't stand the Cowboys. I'm right with you there, Mr. DeWitt. I really don't like the Bears. The Bears are probably my most hated team right now. I say right now, look, there was a time in my life where I was a Chicago Bears fan. I was a Lions fan, but being a Lions fan at the time, you had to have another team. For me, it's always been the Titans. Typically, I'll follow another team per season, on again, off again with the Bucks. I really like Mike Evans. I loved Warren Sapp. The year they won the Super Bowl with Chucky as the head coach, with Rondé Barber, Warren Sapp, Simeon Rice, Derek Barnes, John Lynch. That defense was sick. But there was a point in time where I was a Bears fan simply because, Brian Urlacher is like one of my favorite players to ever play the game. I thought Brian Urlacher just was one of the most dominant generational players that I had the privilege of getting to watch during my developmental years. And I liked watching him play, and I also really liked Cedric Benson. But other than that, the Bears, especially after the little nonsense that they decided to pull with old small PP Benedict Arnold Johnson, the trader in the Windy City. The Bears can all just go fuck themselves. There's one guy in the Bears organization that I don't absolutely despise, and that's Antoine Randall, but he's just as much of a traitor as small PP Benedict Arnold Johnson, the trader in the Windy City. So Fuck the Bears. They can go eat a big bag of dicks for all I'm concerned. Down in the chat, you guys are popping off this morning. I like Dallas in the 70s. I can't stand what Jerry Jones has done to the team. Yeah, hey, Jeanette Hall, appreciate that. Hovath, I'm a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Right on, good. Right on, Hovath. I don't hate the Steelers. I got Pittsburgh Steelers hats. I liked them back in the day, be it that I was a big Lev Bell fan back in the day. I was a huge fan of them because I love running attacks back in the days of the Bus and Fast Willie Parker. That's when I really liked the Pittsburgh Steelers, back when James Harrison. Oh, dude, James Harrison, another one of my favorite players, dude. So I don't dislike the Pittsburgh organization. Do I go out of my way to watch them and watch all of their games? No. 9 times out of 10, am I going to root for the Steelers? Yes. Big fan of Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, another one of those coaches, Mike Tomlin deserves a spot in Canton, right? I mean, he's never had a losing season in Pittsburgh, ever. And he's been there for what feels like 20 fucking years at this point. And talk about ageless. My guy. I mean, I know they say black don't crack, but holy shit. Mike Tomlin is defying age. You know what I'm saying? My mom being from Cincinnati, we are only allowed to like one other team. Yeah, Chase, I feel you on that. It's got to be kind of rough to be a Bengals fan because, again, those are one of those teams that just absolutely love to live in mediocrity. You know what I'm saying? Like if the Bengals could just figure out how to put the whole team mentality together instead of swinging all the way from one extreme to the next, offense or defense. Right now we're in an offensive upswing with all the money they spent on the 2 wide receivers with T. Higgins and Jamar Chase, making a total between the two of them $69 million against the cap. Nice. You know what I'm saying? Steelers are my second favorite team. Mean Joe Green fan, Brent DeWitt. Hell yeah, dude. And it's hard, especially because culturally, the Motor City and the Steel City, culturally, we are basically the same people, right? Blue collar, forgotten, rust belt now. You know what I'm saying? We're very similar in our cultural mentality. Very, very hard work, gritty. You know, to take the word from, well, I mean, the Philadelphia Flyers. You know, their logo's gritty, and we put a lot of grit here in the Motor City. So there's a lot of cultural homogeny between the two cities. So it's almost a hand in glove fit to root for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I mean, I was a huge Steelers. I really liked Bill Cowher. I was rooting for him when they won the Super Bowl here in the Motor City. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard to not root for the Steelers when you are raised and developed in the culture that is so similar to what the Steelers do. You know what I'm saying? My mom says that. Hang on, I gotta flip it so I can read it. I got shit in the way. Mom says that of all the time they aren't well rounded enough. Yeah, exactly, dude. And that's the thing with the Cincinnati Bengals is like, historically, they just haven't invested in like the facility, in top tier training rooms, development. They don't really experiment with new and different ways of approaching it. You feel almost like as a Cincinnati Bengals fan, because I don't dislike the Bengals. I liked them back when they had like Rudy Johnson playing for them and TJ Houshmandzadeh. You know what I'm saying? The ownership just seems like owning the team is not a top priority to them. They don't want to be the bottom of the league, but they're completely content with a ceiling of a 500 organization, right? And now, yes, with the talent they have with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, they are loaded. They have all the talent to go out and compete on offense. The question mark then with the Bengals, at least for the next year, still will be defense, and I don't think Zach Taylor's that great of a head coach. Oh, it's a reflection of the city of shithole, and that's what I say about Cincinnati. Cincinnati's such a shithole that the airport didn't even want to be in Ohio. They took the Cincinnati airport to Kentucky. I mean, and for whatever reason, and you know, if you guys live in Ohio, if you're listening, you're probably nose blind to this. This isn't an insult against people in Ohio. I know that because of the Ohio-Michigan Toledo standoff like 100 or 200 years ago, there's a bit of animosity between the two states. So this isn't an attack on you per se, Ohio. Like I said, you guys are probably nose blind to this. But those of us who aren't from Ohio, your whole fucking city smells like used hot dog water. Your whole fucking state smells like used hot dog water, all right? Aaron Hannon from The Office would love it because it just keeps getting better and better with flavor, but the whole state smells like fucking hot dog water. All right. Oh. All right. Now that I've done ranted about that for a little bit, if you guys haven't already, if you wouldn't mind liking the video, subscribing if you're new here, ringing that notification bell so that you can be a part of the show every Monday through Wednesday with plans to expand come the start of the regular season. Go ahead and assault that like button, hit it with the old 2-piece and a biscuit on your way on out, and then go ahead and share this around with all your friends, or just copy it down on your clipboard, because I completely understand not wanting to be affiliated with the Hat and Beard Show. I get it. I wouldn't want to be affiliated with myself. Do you watch GTA 6 trailer? Yes, Horvath. Well, are you talking? We're gonna get a little out in the weeds here, guys. Horvath 1, 2, 3. Did I watch the GTA trailer? I did when it first dropped. What, at this rate, it feels like 3 years ago, because they just made the big announcement that GTA will be postponed yet another year. So there will be, what is that? 12, 13 years between GTA titles, 8, 9 years from a major release from Rockstar. I'm not. They dropped a new one. Oh, they dropped a new one yesterday. Chase. All right, my guy. May 2026. Yeah, that's what I seen. I knew that they were gonna. Now my question is, and we're getting so distracted here. This is something that I thought of, and you guys seem to kind of be a little bit in the know on this. Do you think Rockstar is delaying it because of the Sweet Baby Inc. nonsense and their understanding that woke culture is dead, and that they may have fucked up massively, and they're trying to undo as much wokeness as they can, because they're realizing that they are Rockstar and they bend the knee to nobody, and that they should not bend the knee to the woke crowd? Or is this just Rockstar being greedy, understanding that why release a new title when we can continue to just milk GTA 5 with the microtransactions, because it's still profitable? I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Why would you oversaturate your market to compete with? You're only competing with yourself at that point. I'm excited for GTA 6. I still have to buy a new generation console. I'm excited for GTA 6, though, personally. Rockstar really upset me, because I am a huge Red Dead 2 fan. That one of the best games I've ever fucking played. Between you, me, and the biscuit on the wall, I only played Red Dead Redemption 2 once, because it was such a masterpiece, my one playthrough, that I didn't want to change the story. I just absolutely loved it. Yeah, I got the bad ending, yada yada, etc., etc. What I'm upset with Rockstar is how quickly they just abandoned Red Dead Online. I played fucking thousands of hours of Red Dead Online. I absolutely loved it. It was much more slow paced. The role playing aspect of it was so much more, fun, engaging. And personally, I am a little salty at Rockstar for abandoning what I felt was a modern masterpiece of not just video game, but art in general. So there's a little bit of salt there. And then I am a little discouraged with them on the surface level of the delays, because it just shows, again, further greed to continue to microtransaction their way to profits through GTA 5. One of the greatest games ever played. I think the highest selling media ever. So there's a little bit of salt there. I understand what they're doing. But yes, ultimately I am excited, and I will be checking out the new trailer later today. So back in the chat, GTA GPS, the horseshoe from the lakeshore. It says south until you smell east until you step in it. All right, so Mr. Brent DeWitt, you're a Michigander then. I can tell by that you're a Michigander. Chase says, I think it was more development hell, if I'm being honest, mixed with GTA 5 printing money. I remember you playing it and streaming it way. But yeah, dude, that's actually what I first started doing on YouTube, was I was streaming Red Dead Redemption 2. Yep, that's exactly how I think I maybe have some of those old streams still back up. But yeah, that's literally what I first started doing, was Red Dead Online, streaming Red Dead 2. They just left it. It's the highest selling piece of media ever. That's what I thought. I thought GTA 5 was the hot, again, if it's still going to print money, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But yeah, Rockstar kind of shitting in my hat and farting on my beard over here about, holy shit, we got 14 people in the chat. Wow, damn, guys. Okay, we're rocking and rolling. Wow. Thanks, y'all. Fucking dope. Smash like, salt that like button, which is insane to think about. World of Star Wars, Marvel, and the like. Yeah, dude. Like, why can't Red Dead just like or Rockstar read the writing on the walls? I don't know. All right, guys, we're gonna focus back here to task at hand. Over at SI.com, Lions 2025 rookie minicamp storylines. This is coming from Christian Boer earlier this morning. Excuse me. The Lions will host their rookie minicamp this weekend, allowing Coach Dan Campbell to get his first opportunity to work with the new group of young players. Both the team's draft picks and the group of undrafted free agents will begin to learn the scheme for the first time with instructions from position coaches. Additionally, the 3-day event doubles as a job interview for tryout players brought in by the organization. Yes, this is a chance for the undrafted guys to try and carve out a role into camp. This is the first step in them breaking the mold and proving that they deserve a crack at the NFL. First impressions. Oh, wow. Okay, we were still popping up. Seen Lions camp clicked. Back to football, LOL. So far, just video games. Yeah, I sorry, Flair VS Savage. I get a little sidetracked, bud. So here at the Hat and Beard Show, we're trying to connect the dots, but instead of going like this, I tend to do like this. You know what I'm saying? It's a little out there, but we like to try and engage with you guys and see what's popping off. The biggest part of rookie minicamp will be the first look at the rookie classes. Detroit's 7 draft picks will get their first chance to work with the coach's staff, both in meeting rooms and on the field. Headlined by first-round pick Tyleik the Freak Williams, all the players are expected to participate, barring any unforeseen injuries. As a result, the coaching staff will get an opportunity to evaluate their skills in an individual and walkthrough team sessions. Because practices are not live, there will be no contact. However, they can begin basic installs to help the players get up to speed for organized team activities and training camp. The biggest task for the rookies will be navigating all the information they are given in a short amount of time and translating it to be good performance. As we talked about yesterday, first and foremost, cross-training our offensive linemen. That will be the big thing that we focus on with our rookies, our big 2 second-round and 5th-round pick. Both guys have versatility. Both guys are incredibly dynamic and highly talented offensive linemen. We talked about it yesterday with the requirements to carry extra roster spots for your diva, your skilled position players. Obviously, having a 1-to-1 replacement along the offensive line, that's going to eat up 10 of your roster spots for game day. 10 of 53 is an awful lot. So what we need to do is what we've seen the Lions do historically. Graham Glasgow, cross-training to be all interior offensive linemen, namely starting at the guard spot, but able to slide over for Frank Ragnow if anything happens to him. We've seen Dan Skipper be able to play either tackle and guard at a relatively decent level. So ideally, what we will be doing is really honing in on what was talked about yesterday with Hank Fraley putting the ball between the two guys' legs and saying, can you snap? As well as maximizing Miles Frazier to be what I would like to see as our swing guy, our Swiss Army knife of an offensive lineman. Miles Frazier has the ability to play inside and outside on the offensive line. So cross-training of these guys will be very important. And seeing how quickly they pick up on schemes. I'm fully anticipating. You guys know, I'm about to get me a fucking Tate Ratledge jersey, dude, because I think Tate Ratledge is going to be just from day one, right on it. Brent DeWitt here. A lot of Lions fans and content creators saying our 2 rookie offensive linemen might start. I say nay. I can see Williams starting with Aleem being out for a while. They cross-train every camp. Yes. Okay, so Brent Davis. Our 2 rookie offensive linemen might start. I would say no. I don't think, barring injury, I don't see a world where Miles Frazier is able to beat out, obviously, Penei Sewell, Frank Ragnow, Taylor Decker. The question mark comes at our 2 guard spots because Graham Glasgow took a massive step back from where he was 2 years ago last year. Kevin Zeitler moving to Tennessee opens up a spot. We're penciling in Christian Mahogany, more or less. So for either of the 2 rookies to beat out the 2 veterans on the inside spots, highly unlikely. I would not be surprised, though, if Tate Ratledge beats out Graham Glasgow for that starting guard spot. I think Christian Mahogany, I think the world of Christian Mahogany. I think his ceiling is very, very high. I do think Tate Ratledge is a better offensive lineman physically than Graham Glasgow is now, but Graham Glasgow having that veteran, that seasoning, that understanding of games that are played, that cerebral analysis at a higher speed than Tate Ratledge might keep him in the starting rotation until, say, the bye week. As far as Tyleik the Freak Williams is concerned, yeah, he's going to be our starting defensive tackle. He is a 1-to-1 replacement for Aleem McNeil, a little bit bigger than Aleem is now, so ideally, until Aleem gets back, he can play that 3 technique as more or less your starter. Once Aleem comes back, Aleem then comes in as the starter. Tyleik the Freak then becomes our lead rotationary interior defensive line player because with his mass and strength, he can match up well at the 1 technique in relief of DJ Reader. DJ Reader will then, obviously, at the end of next season, no longer probably be with the Detroit Lions, and then you're going to have Tyleik the Freak coming into his monster sophomore year after an absolutely lightning, just lights out, dominating rookie campaign where he learns, develops, and then is able to get the whole offseason with his new running mate, Aleem McNeil, where they are just going to be a 1-3 punch, get it? 1-3 punch, and just absolutely light it up. So I do expect Tyleik to start until Aleem comes back, though as far as the 2 rookie offensive linemen, barring injury, right out of the gate, neither's going to start. Best availability or best odds of one of them starting, I think, would be Tate Ratledge, barring injury. I do expect him as the season goes on to take over for Graham Glasgow at the guard position. And then Flair versus... Oh, I get it. Flair versus Savage. Ha ha! Yeah, okay. All right, dude. Flair versus Savage. All right. I get you now, dude. I get you. They cross-train every camp. Yes, and that is something that we've talked about for years now on this channel, is how both offensively and defensively we like to have as many tools in our toolbox and as many multifaceted tools as we can have at our disposal. It takes that 53-man roster and it stretches it out. It gets you the maximum value. So think of it as if you can get guys that can cross-train and cross-train well, that 53-man roster gets stretched out, gets pulled to about 60 men on an active roster, right? How did I just notice that? Yeah, dude, bro, for real, when I read Flair versus Savage, I was like, Chase should have caught that, dude. So Flair versus Savage, I'm chasing Chase as our resident wrestling expert, dude. He is our go-to wrestling expert, my guy. Brent DeWitt, I think Colby Sorsdahl will be waived by the regular season. He hasn't developed as hoped. I totally agree with you, Brent DeWitt. I liked Colby Sorsdahl because I liked the odds, the story, the fight. You hope that he could elevate himself, rising tide, but unfortunately I think he's got a big fat hole in his ass and it just sucked up all that water, and Colby Sorsdahl is just I think he's gonna be the odd man out. I don't know if there's a world where Awashika makes the roster. Colby Sorsdahl might be able to wiggle his way in if he can exclusively play at tackle. However, it'll come down to how well can Frazier develop as a cross-trainer, because I think Miles Frazier is a better talent than Colby Sorsdahl is right now. Miles Frazier could bump Colby Sorsdahl off the active roster. Sorry, I mostly dabble in wrestling podcasts, but I am a diehard Lions fan. Dude, don't apologize, man. We slowly are getting... Look, I'll be real with you, Brent DeWitt. I'm chasing Chase is slowly making me become a wrestling fan, dude. We have had long discussions about wrestling on this channel, and I look, it's fun. It's fun, dude. All right, it's fun. I like it. You're amongst good people here. Yes, Flair, you are among you. Welcome home, Flair. How's that? Welcome home, bud. I think you're going to fit in nicely here. Mr. Detroit City! Good morning, brother! Let's go, Lions! Let's go you, bro! Welcome. How you doing this morning, bud? You got sunshine? We got sunshine up here, dude. Hopefully you're staying down there. Sunny, Florida! Sorry I'm late, but I'm here for a good time. Not a long time, baby. Yes, sir. I ain't here for a long time. I'm here for a good time. I'm glad you're able to pop in, dude. I really, really appreciate it. Thanks for checking out the video on demand yesterday, man. I seen your comment. I tried to respond. I really appreciate that, bro. Seriously. Those of you guys who are like legit OGs and go back and watch what you missed, fucking baller move on your guys' part. Sunshine and blue skies. I was never into football, Chase says. Make video game streams. But Hat and Beard and I go way back. Yeah, dude. I was thinking about this the other day. Dude, I gotta like legit, Chase, look at a yearbook to see, was it 6th grade or 8th grade that we started that we met? Because I just tell everybody, I've known Chase for 20 years, dude. You know what I'm saying? All right, Mr. Trade City, sunshine and blue skies, which means you're making money today, brother. You're out there getting that bag, my friend. Go get that paper, dude. Now you and my girlfriend have made you a Lions fan, dude. And that's why we love her, dude. That's why we love your old lady, dude. She's an MVP turning you into a Lions fan, bro. And that's what we love about it. So, it's all one pride around here, brother. I can't wait to see Manu in preseason, see how his progress is going. He could be a wild card in the O-line room. That is something that has slowly been boiling under the surface, Brent DeWitt, is the development of Giovanni Manu. And look at me. This is the third day in a row that I haven't called him Manu Ginobili. Look at me go. That must mean something. If I'm able to remember his name as Giovanni Manu and I quit calling him Manu Ginobili, dude, that must mean something. But he's been training with Taylor Decker in the offseason. And rumor has it that they're going to maybe give him a crack at the interior offensive line. Now, Manu Ginobili. Damn it! Damn it! So close. Giovanni Manu. Is he the next guy, the next freak, the Detroit Yeti? You know what I'm saying? It's a big wild card. You're completely right with your take on that, Brent DeWitt. He is the wild card because we don't know. We won't know until we see him in preseason. We don't know what is the plan with him. Taylor Decker did restructure and sign a bit of a contract extension. Does Giovanni Manu sit around and just continue to develop and then ultimately become that left tackle replacement? I have no idea, but I can't wait to see the news coming out of him in after camps and all throughout training camp. I think it may have been 8th. I don't remember much. 7th and 6th. Well, here's this, Chase. I will just ask you, did you go to Hope or did you go to Washington Woods? Because that would tell you. Because I was originally supposed to go to Hope Middle School, but then we moved out of Holt and moved out to where my family's at now. And then I ended up going to Washington Woods 6th grade. Because I used to walk to Elliott, K through 5. I used to just walk to school, and then I would have walked to Hope. So if you went to Hope, we didn't meet each other until 8th grade. But if you went to Washington Woods, then we met each other in 6th grade. Because we both played trumpet. Hey, look at that. Aha, we both played trumpet. Ayo. Ayo. Almost. I think the Decker and Franks last year. Do you think it? Man, Flair versus Savage. Okay, so it wasn't until 8th grade. Yes, sir. All right, yeah. So if you went to Hope, then it wasn't until 8th grade. He liked to be called Geo. Wouldn't want to upset a beast like that. Yeah, I wouldn't want to upset the Detroit Yeti either. I'm gonna just call him Geo then, because I can't stop calling him fucking Giovanni Manu like an asshole. Like an asshole. I mean, he doesn't even look like Giovanni Manu. You know what I'm saying? So Flair versus Savage. You for real think that this is gonna be Decker and Franks last year? If we win a Super Bowl this year, when we win the Super Bowl this year, Taylor Decker makes sense because of age. He's given it all he's got, and he climbed the mountain in the Motor City. Frank Ragnow, while still probably having, he's 29. He'll be 30, I think, by the start of the season. A lot of injuries start to pile up for Frank Ragnow. And at a certain point, knowing how the league has been transitioning into a player-first, health-centric, you want to be able to walk away from the game while you can still walk away from the game. And having Calvin Johnson being such a important cog in the Detroit Lions organization now that Sheila took over and opened up the doors and reconciled with Calvin Johnson and Barry Sanders, I would not be surprised, and I wouldn't hold it against him, if after we win the Super Bowl this year, Frank Ragnow decides, I too am going to retire while I can still walk away from this. He has a real illustrious career as a social media content creator doing hunting stuff. So a career outside of football is just an easy transition for him. I don't know the psych profile on the guy to know if that's what he's after. But I would not be surprised after we win the Super Bowl this year if both of those guys do retire. If we don't win the Super Bowl this year, Decker, again, will have the age question. Ragnow, I think, would lean more towards not retiring and giving it one more go. But both of them have to start considering their long-term health. 100%. Frank has the toe thing. Yes, sir. I don't see Decker and Frank unless we win it all. Yeah, so not only Mr. Savage does Frank have that reoccurring toe issue that has become a career thing for him, but I always harken back to A few years back, early on in his career, Frank Ragnow played with a fucking broken neck. Yeah, you got some huevos, dude. You got some fucking cojones, man. Like this fucking big. But at a certain point, dude, you've already broken your neck once. You've got this reoccurring toe injury. Walk away while you can still walk away. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to say this, after we win the Super Bowl this year, I would expect both those guys to announce their retirement. Holmes has voiced his desire for the team to cross-train both the offensive linemen the team drafted, Tate Ratledge and Miles Frazier. This could come in with some initial hiccups due to both spending prominent time at guard in college, though Frazier does have starting experience at both guard and tackle spots. He was also the first replacement. If any of the starters went down, he would slide over to the tackle spot. The Lions return. Well, that's not right. The Lions return 4, F-O-R, should be F-O-U-R, of their 5 starters, with the lone vacancy being at right guard. Now, I didn't go to college. Am I wrong? I am a high school graduate. It should be F-O-U-R, right? Isn't that the number 4? Am I stupid? Chat, am I stupid? I'm stupid. It's got to be me. I'm stupid. With the lone vacancy being at right guard. Ratledge played all but 4. See, no, okay, I'm right. God damn it, I'm right. There it is. So the Lions return 4 of their 5 starters, but 4 snaps in his college career. Now I'm very confused. I dyslexic. And they spelled that. He goes, dude, I'm dyslexic and they spelled that wrong. I ain't got one of them fancy college degrees. I learned how to turn wrenches and screwdrivers, but I'm telling you right now, that ain't the right 4. It ain't that hard. I'm dyslexic. I got you, bro. It was actually it was even more fitting in a sick way. It was actually way more fitting that way. Making 36 starts in his final 3 years at Georgia. As a result, he could be an ideal fit to take over the position if he displayed the capability. However, Detroit also has second-year option Christian Mahogany and Gio, who will compete for reps. As a result, maximizing the versatility of these young linemen will be beneficial in order to give the Lions options with their depth. It will also be interesting to see if the Lions deploy the cross-training approach for their undrafted free agents, including Mason Miller and Lee Fatuanu. Miller was an FCS All-American at North Dakota State at tackle, while Fatuanu was a center at Arizona State. And I have seen, there was an article, I didn't read too much of it, but there is a little bit of hype around Fatuanu, because some people are saying that he might actually be the heir apparent for Frank Ragnow. He's that good. He's that good of a center. Next training camp standout. The Lions have a history of identifying strong undrafted free agents who fit their style and compete for spots on the roster. Detroit has kept at least one free agent from every class on the initial 53-man roster at the end of training camp, and it's going on 13 or 15 years of us doing that. Because of this, there will be plenty of attention on Detroit's crop of free agents this year. There are plenty of intriguing options in this year's group, including Miller, Syracuse wide receiver Jackson Meeks, who is Zadarius Smith's nephew, and Indiana tight end fullback Zach Horton, which we do need a fullback desperately. Detroit has also not hesitated to sign rookie minicamp tryout players who impressed during their on-field drills. Last season, a pair of players stood out and earned training camp invitations. Both players, Caden Davis and Parker Hesse, improved in training camp, with Hesse making the final roster. With how much competition the Lions desire at each position, it wouldn't be surprising to see the team add another option from its pool of tryout players heading into training camp. Down in the chat, Brett DeWitt, I was wondering if Manu could be Dan Skipper because of it. That's really what I thought we were going to see Gio playing the Skipper role last year, actually, because of his athleticism, because he's just a fucking freak out there of an athletic talent. But, what that came down to, at least last season, was Skipper was more versatile in the offensive line room, more so than the trick player. And let's be honest, guys. Everybody loves their friendly neighborhood Dan Skipper. How hyped do you get when Dan Skipper runs out on the field. We're all hype about it. 6'9", Dan Skipper lining up at wide receiver. It's it's fucking awesome. And I personally, yeah, he's not the best offensive lineman. I just really like Dan Skipper. He seems like a super friendly guy. That's why I call him the friendly neighborhood Dan Skipper. But I do see the possibility, if Manu is athletic enough, that he becomes our heavy set, right? He becomes the swing. The Manu's running in, marking himself eligible. You know what I'm saying? Dan Skipper, the ultimate offensive weapon. Wouldn't it be a fucking hilarious if we found out Dan Skipper's got like a howitzer of an arm too? Like he can just go out there and drop dimes. Dan Skipper's out there launching Anthony Richards style 60-yard bombs in the air. He's also got ankles. He can break ankles. Come to find out, Dan Skipper's the most explosive offensive player in the NFL. That'd be wild, man. That'd be wild. All right, guys, let's get into our last story over here. We're going to barrel roll on over to Yahoo Sports. Try and keep it while we're running a little bit late, guys. We're going to run a little over. I'm sorry, we're going to run a little over. Just bear with me. All right, there's 12 of you down in the chat right now. That's super what's up. If you guys wouldn't mind, go ahead and assault that like button, hit it with the old 2-piece and a biscuit. Go ahead and share this video around with all your friends, or just copy it down on your clipboard. Either way helps the channel grow. Subscribe to the channel if you're new here, and if you want to be part of this popping off chat, you guys are getting wild today, man. This is absolutely awesome. Go ahead and ring that notification bell so that you can be part of the Hat and Beard Show every Monday through Wednesday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. With expansions coming to the start of the regular season, we will be going 5 days a week, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time here at youtube.com. And if you don't want to miss out on it, go ahead and ring that notification bell. You can be in the chat because, as I say, look, guys, look, I just read the stuff. It is you, my friend. It is you who makes this channel pop, who makes the show go. Keep me on my toes down there in the chat. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for telling a friend. That's what we love about you. So there's our guy, Ahmed Hassanin. Shout out Brent DeWitt, making me know how to pronounce his name so I don't sound like a raging asshole every time I try and read the dude's name. The Detroit Lions selected Boise State edge Ahmed Hassanin with their 6th-round pick in this year's draft. I'm seeing a lot of similarities between him and Malcolm Rodriguez with the motor. The Lions entered the draft with a significant need for pass rushers and added some depth to that spot with the 6'2", 267-pound Hassanin. He's also the first Egyptian ever taken in the NFL draft, which is kind of cool. As a late-round pick, Hassanin's value equates to his expectations, meaning Lions fans shouldn't expect him to make a significant impact right away. However, with 2024 as an example, a flurry of injuries could thrust him into more playing time at any moment. Scouting reports from multiple outlets projected Hassanin to land right about where he did in the draft. They also point out his lack of total football experience could get him off to a slow start. Here are some notes. Prospect grade, out of possible 8 points, he scored a 5.69, so above average, right? A 6th-round player taken above average with a massive motor and a lot of upside. Yeah, the league projected him to be a candidate from bottom of depth roster or practice squad. The next-gen stats got him a 66 in the 2025 Combine, making him the number 29th edge player. An analyst from NFL analyst Lance Zierlein, a bulky 4'3" defensive end with a strong motor and impressive production, but lack of NFL-ready instincts. Hassanin hasn't played as much football as other prospects, so he's still in the process of learning technique and developing play recognition. He comes off the ball with a narrow base, but will deliver a good initial pop. The rush production is less a function of a skilled play and more a function of play extension and secondary effort. He's tough, but limited, and misses a lot of tackles. It's all motor. He's a heart player. He is all heart, all grit. Look, I can coach a lot of that stuff up. If you can play at a high level, if you have the motor behind it, we can tune the vehicle around. We can make adjustments. We can fix things. But if you come in and you don't have a motor, you might be able to do things well, you're not going to succeed. I'd much rather take a hard-running Jesse, a guy with his hair on fire, a guy that I call a Jimmy or a Joe, rather than someone who can, just shows up and is just on paper is an X and an O. You know what I'm saying? Give me that hard running Jesse. Give me that motherfucker with his hair on fire. You know what I'm saying? Give me that guy that's the first Egyptian-born player that after he was drafted in the 6th round at his huge watch party proposed to his girlfriend. That's pretty awesome. Also kind of fitting that an Egyptian-born player is going to be drafted to the Detroit Lions if you know the makeup of the Michigan demographics. I don't think Ahmed would last on the practice squad. He'd get snatched up to his. That's what I was worried about. Brent DeWitt is Hassanin. If we put him on a practice squad, he's going to get snatched up purely because of what I just said, the high motor, the coachability. I can fix things if you got the high motor. If you got that hard running Jesse mentality, I can coach you up. I can fix things. You know what I'm saying? So he will get snatched up. He'll get snatched up real quick. Pro football grade in 24, he got a 76.9, almost a 77. This is all Pro Football Focus, his collegiate career. In 2024, run defense was an 80, pass rush win rate of 16%, and an overall grade of 81.4. Analysis from Pro Football Focus, Hassanin's effort and physicality at the point of attack will lead him to being a favorite of NFL coaches. Even though he lacks elite athletic traits, he looks to be an ideal rotational edge for who will be effective at holding his own at the line of scrimmage against the run, while he works to add to his pass rush toolbox. He should be considered a day 3 prospect. The Bleacher Report graded him a 5.9, overall draft rank of 259, position rank at edge of 25. Pro comparison, Jesse Luketa, NFL analyst breach the NFL by BR NFL Draft Report. Ahmed Hassanin is still new to the game, having not played football competitively until 2019, and spending the majority of his life in Egypt. That increases his ceiling in the NFL, and he has the size and strength to be a solid run-defending base defensive end. Hassanin consistently takes on blocks with good leverage and has impressive strength at the point of attack to be disruptive against the run, especially when he uses his hands. However, he is still inconsistent with the latter, as it's part of where his inexperience shows up. So real quick, what I wanted to say, what stuck out to me, he consistently takes on blocks with good leverage and has impressive strength at the point of attack to be disruptive against the run. That comes from, even though he's very, very raw, and when you see a defensive end coming in at 6'2", you think that's a little short for a defensive end, right? Because traditionally 6'2", going to be about the 240-pound mark, but you bring him in 6'2", 267 pounds, so he wins with leverage because he's naturally lower. He's naturally got an advantage being the low man against big mauling offensive linemen, but he's also got enough lead in his ass to be able to compete. He's able to stick his foot in the ground and hold his own just with the mass alone. Then he add in any strength. You give this guy 2 years in an NFL pedigree program of development, strength building, and learning, he has the potentiality. Depends on his coachability, but he has the potentiality to be one of those just out of nowhere disrupting sons of bitches. Lastly, the Draft Network projected him specific contributor day 3 selection. Ahmed Hassanin is a powerful and high-effort pass rusher with a blend of explosiveness, power, and technique that makes him a legitimate challenger for a key rotationary role at the next level. Concerns remain about his overall athletic profile, flexibility, and bend as a rusher. Hassanin doesn't consistently corner as tightly as the elites in the class, which at times can limit his ability to finish plays when working around the arc. Additionally, his pass rush arsenal could be more diverse. While he wins with power, adding speed asset to his game along with more refined counter moves would make him a more well-rounded overall threat. Hassanin has the traits and production to be a solid contributor at the next level as a hybrid front defender. His first step, play strength, relentless motor, and read and react ability against the run showcase a floor as a rotational defender early on in his career. And if you can come in early on as a 6th-round pick being pegged as a contributing rotationary player, those are pretty high marks and a very good runway for you to, as long as you put in the work, as long as you compete, as long as you take the coaching and do what you're asked to, you have an incredibly high ceiling. Verbiage like that we just read here, high effort pass rusher, challenger for key role at the next level. Read and reactability against the run showcases a floor as a rotational defender early on. Yes, a floor as a rotational defender early on, but a ceiling of a potential moving into a strong contributing, if not potentiality, to be a starter. He's got good size and mass, naturally winning the leverage fight and having 267 pounds. You bulk him up to 270 or slim him down to 260 by replacing the fat with muscle mass, and you're looking at a cannonball of a defensive end, a nice bookend for Aiden Hutchinson that you guys know I love that heavy end set where we can collapse the pocket with Hutch down into the cleanup duty of Hassanin or Josh Paschal or Zadarius Smith if he decides to return. I don't think Ahmad would okay, have a great day, everyone. Lions run to Bears down. One pride worldwide. Let's go. Mr. Brent DeWitt, have yourself a good rest of the day, my brother. Appreciate you stopping in. We will catch you Monday morning, my dude. Make sure to tune in then. Really appreciate you guys all hanging out and doing your thing, you guys. This has been a good show. We are going to start winding it down here. Let's see. We had 10 votes. Will George Pickens be the next Antonio Brown? 70% of you said until proven otherwise. Until proven otherwise, yes, no, and I'm not nice for this. 30% of you said that. So 3 of you said that I'm not very nice for this. So another great show, Mr. Detroit City. Shout out to you. Shout out to all of you guys in the chat. I appreciate y'all helping, keeping the show going. Today we discussed George Pickens getting traded to the Cowboys. Got off on a little bit of a video game tangent while trying to slog through this article. I appreciate you guys helping us out, though, filling out the show because we got our muddy boots while we try and mine stories to fill the off season here. We then walked over and looked at some Lions minicamp that kicks off this weekend. So that's what we'll be talking about Monday is what we learned in minicamp. So some storylines to look forward this weekend as the rookies show up to do walkthroughs and start to understand the scheme, and we get to start picking their brain and seeing where they're going to fit, how cerebral these guys are. Are they who we thought they are? Who we thought they were? You know what I'm saying? If you're going to crown them, go ahead and crown their ass. And then finally, we wrapped up talking about Edge Ahmed Hassanin and what could he potentially turn into for the Detroit Lions. As always, guys, I want to say thank you so much for tuning in, telling a friend. It's what we love about you guys. It's been a great show. Enjoy the sunshine, Jeanette Hall. Yes, ma'am. You all enjoy the sunshine. Mr. Detroit City, go make that paper in that sunshine. I'm Chasing Chase. Great show as always. No, dude, thank you for all your help and all that you do both during the show and behind the scenes, you guys. For those of you guys that don't know, Chase has been a major contributor to the development of the Hat and Beard show. I couldn't thank him enough for it, bro. So thank you so much for that. Appreciate you guys sharing this around. It's Wednesday, which means it's the end of the week for us. So you have a hump day, a couple more days until your Friday, and then a big, beautiful weekend. Let us not forget, Sunday is Mother's Day. All right, guys? So make sure you go ahead and call your mom, send her a text, make her dinner. We're probably going to be doing some type of beef on the grill over here, along with whatever Hat and Boobs decides to whip up for us. But I'm leaning towards some sort of beef put on the old charcoal grill here and hang out with my mom and dad over here for Mother's Day. So you guys make sure to wish your mom a happy Mother's Day. You know, if it weren't for her, regardless of what you think about your mom, if it weren't for her, you wouldn't be here. That's how biology works. So enjoy the rest of the week. Have a good weekend. Stay out of trouble, guys. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Please don't call for bail. I got enough other bills to take care of. I don't need to be bailing out my community. All right, fellas. That's going to be it for me. I've been Hat and Beard. You've been an attentive audience. Thank you for such a banger of a show today, guys. Great week. We absolutely killed it. I'll see you guys next week, Monday morning, 10 a.m. Hey, Larry Hall, shout out. Great show. Thank you. Appreciate that, bud. Let me give you some love in the chat here. Bam, 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 bam. There you go. Cool. All right, guys. Yeah, so that's going to be it for me. I've been Hat and Beard. You've been attentive audience. We'll see you on Monday morning, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at the Hat and Beard Show to discuss Lions training or rookie mini camp, along with any other NFL stories that we can mine up for you. Bonga bonga. Frig off.